Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, relationships game, everything in between, okay? Today I'm going to give you an overview of handshakes. Symbolic of dominance, submission, feminine and masculine energy. Apologies, I've got a watering eye here, people. We're not going to go into the depths of the hand twisting, malarkey and the secret handshakes and all this and that. I'm just going to show you how to identify where somebody places or believes they place in relation to you via a handshake. This is going to be some good game. So, there's a reoccurring theme in body language that the downwards facing palm, the lack of exposure of the palm, is dominant. It's oppressive. We crush down, palms down gestures. Whereas hands up, please, palms exposing, any behaviour such as, is submissive. And to be submissive isn't a bad thing, alright? People always attach, at least men attach negative connotations with the term submission. There are times where, naturally speaking, you, non-verbally, outside of your awareness, will act in a submissive manner. There will be a balance and a dance whilst you communicate with other people, where some will play the submissive role, some will play the dominant role. There's always this dynamic in constant flux when you communicate with people, right? That's completely fine. When you talk to your boss, if you play the dominant role 24 hours a day, they're going to look at you and say, are you the boss? You're fired. Goodbye. It's just the way it is, right? When you're in a court of law because you've made a mistake and you put your hands up and you say, I'm being honest, judge, blah, 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 that's an act of submission, okay? So don't always think there's some sort of negative connotation. But with that being said, I'm going to teach you some game. So, you meet someone, for argument's sake, let's say the first time you meet someone, okay? Man on man, yeah? Two men meeting together. You put your hand out. Now, I would tell you the perfect handshake is going to be Met Central, yeah? Nice to meet you, alright? We establish an even connection, an even force, and that even force isn't too strong. We just meet them halfway. Hold on. Mic check. I just overloaded my PC. Sorry about that. So, where were we? Meet them halfway. Even established connection. We can move on, at least on mutual grounds from that point. If you're in a job interview, this is where you want to be. If you're doing business, this is where you want to be. If you want to showcase a mutual respect with your fellow man, this is where you want to be, okay? So, let's say on the flip side, I mean, I want to tell you, there's no way in life you're going through not on the middle ground as far as a handshake is concerned. When it comes to dealing with women, you might want to approach it in a separate way, and I'll explain this to you as we go on. But with that being said, now let's look at the flip side. Somebody comes to you, another man comes to you, and you'll see this, you'll start to identify this in life, yeah? A man comes to you, and he puts his hand like that, alright? So, palm facing upwards to shake your hand. Nice to meet you, alright? He may even do it in a manner as to where naturally the neck cocks to the side as well, exposing his vulnerability, exposing the side of his neck, such as what a woman will do when she's showcasing attraction to you, okay? It's a sign of submission. The hand down, the hand facing upwards, such as when we spoke of, showcases to you, I hold no weaponry, I'm in submission to you. He places himself down there. You know when somebody says we've got the upper hand? This is what we're talking of. I've got the upper hand. I'm in the dominant position. I am the oppressive force here. And they subconsciously have showcased that to you by putting their hand out and exposing themselves in this manner. So naturally speaking, you will do that. Naturally, right? Now, on the flip side, and I don't experience this, so I don't know how prominent this is or whether this is a conscious decision. If it was the flip side, a man does that to you, I mean, I have seen it in interviews, actually. Music CEOs and the like ruthless sharks of industry, when engaging in communication over interviews and meeting people and saying, "Oh, nice to meet you." I've seen them enact in this particular manner. Whether it's conscious or not, I don't know. I think it is. I think it's a game some people do play when they are a little more in tune and smart, and keep that layer of dominance in sort of like an evil manner. I have seen it enacted in that place, but there we go. Now, on the flip side, this is the stuff you're interested in, right? Attraction. A woman will emphasize and showcase her femininity by giving you a very soft and limp handshake, right? The limp wrist is significant of feminine submission. It's why gay men are said to have limp wrists, right? It's a showcase of femininity. It's a very feminine principle and behavior. So when you shake the hands of a woman who wants to accentuate her femininity in relation to your masculinity and in a way submit, she may give you that. And then even better, if you were to, somewhat take the upper hand in that position, that's significant of you being on top, right? But she's going to allow that. And that's the difference between two men shaking hands. Because you want to be on even ground. I don't recommend playing these silly power games with people for the sake of it. Because it's just, I don't think it's good for the soul and spirit, personally. I would rather you go out there and be a well-reputable, well-established, great communicator as opposed to like playing games with people. But this is the subconscious dance of body language we do to each and every fine degree. So the woman will give you this submissive weak limp, and you might get this with a feminine man, this week. And then that's not for you to come in and do what some men do. Some men will do this to other men, but truth be told, when you've experienced it and when other people have experienced it, it always leaves a sour taste in that person's mouth. Don't overdo it with the masculine, I'm strong, let me squeeze the hell out of you handshake. It impresses nobody. It makes them feel uncomfortable, especially when you hold on to it for too long and it's like, just give up. You don't want to do that. You don't want to action that ever in your life. When it comes to you shaking the hand of a woman, yeah, you don't necessarily want to meet her halfway with that submissive limp wrist, but you just want to hold on to her hand as you would do with that man. And by default, the dynamic will be different, and you'll be able to, showcase your masculinity in relation to her femininity without the need of squeezing the hell out of her hand, making her feel uncomfortable, making her feel like you're some sort of aggressive beast. By default, the fact that you're only showcasing, your bog standard handshake, and it's firm and standard and comfortable per se, that's a showcase. Like when we've spoken about mystery and boundaries and stuff like that, it gives her the sense of understanding that, oh wow, if he wanted to, he could do more, because when you do too much, it's overcompensation, and it raises questions as to why you're overcompensating. Nobody likes the person doing the super firm handshake. That's fact. Alright? So go out into the world, understand this, pay attention when you're shaking hands. Just have a little deke as to what the ratio is as far as the, the way the upper and the bottom is sort of correlating with each other. You'll find out a lot of interesting stuff. And this is rooted, this is real life. This is real life. So I'm going to leave you on that one. That really is some game. That was a short, composed, and concentrated game. That's really important stuff, because you will see this manifest, all right? Even when you're watching people behave and engaging in these communications and shaking hands, you will see this manifest, all right? I'm signing out. We've got 2 links in the description. One will take you through to the catalogue of body language. It's a YouTube playlist, free of charge, over 220, 30, 40 videos, where you'll learn how to read people through their own subconscious behaviours. Second to that is my Patreon, where we will observe real dates. I'll break down the attraction and repulsion cues. I'll show you how it's done, how you observe that. You'll take it into the real world. You'll become Casanova. I'm uploading twice a day, maybe even 3 times in the future. So click subscribe and like. I'm signing out. Peace.